Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Totally Oblivious podcast. I am your host, Caleb, the very tired and very hungry host. Here with no co-host Alex, but here with Mariah. Alex is a Dalmatian. Alex transformed.
You can tell because the head's too big for the body, so it just kind of milk jugs.
Yeah, there is no Alex this week. He was very he was too busy.
You know what though? Paper Alex is still in the room too. If that it needs to be.
Alex is still in there?
The Paper Alex, yeah.
Hold on. Where?
It should be by the closet where I think there's like a Batman poster.
Anyway, yeah, Alex isn't here. He's busy. So we only have Mariah. And this week, it's been like 2 weeks since we've gone to the concert, but I wanted to talk about the Fall Out Boy concert we went to.
I am open to talking about Fall Out Boy all the time. Mostly Seattle. I think people have a very...
that kind of view?
That kind of view when they think about Seattle. I think when Seattle's mentioned to certain types of people, that's the sound that goes through their minds.
Just screeching, angry.
Yep. But there's a certain art behind it that I think is very unappreciated. Did you go with us? You didn't go with us to the bookstore, but it's just like a lot of art, and it's just small things, like you're just walking along a sidewalk and there's like kitten footprints in the concrete, and you're like, wow, they appreciated that moment enough to not get rid of that and get mad about stuff like that.
Just walking through Pike's Place was very cool.
My leg hurt.
Yeah.
So I didn't walk through Pike's Place.
But I did.
That also has very unique characteristics.
I met a guy. His name was... Oh, what was his name? It was very simple. I have it written down because I knew I'd forget. But he was he made like guitars out of old like jewelry boxes, I think they were. But he was cool. He was a cool guy. He just talked to me about his life. His name was
Steve.
Dean. His name was Dean. Very cool guy. He told me his life story about how he became a hippie in like the 70s despite his dad's wishes, and then traveled the country for a while. Then he came back and made up with his dad and started selling guitars and playing guitars.
Isn't that an interesting time period too, to be like, oh yeah, my dad didn't want me to be a hippie. He wanted me to be...
He wanted me to be a
industrial
accountant.
And use plastic.
Yeah, and think of all the music that wouldn't exist if those people listened to their parents.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, true. What's crazy though is like most of those people, like thinking about Watershed, most of those people who went to that are now the people who are like exactly against the very things that they did.
What?
Like what do you mean what? Like the people who went to Watershed, or not Watershed. What's it? The one in 1969 who was, what's it called? I'm getting it confused with stupid Watershed.
Is it Liquid House?
No.
Is it Fluid?
It was
Fluid.
Garage. Jimmy. Hendrix. 1969.
H2O tiny building.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with water. I think I'm getting it confused with Watergate.
Like the conspiracy theory? They're like stealing kids and stuff?
That is not Watergate. That is not Watergate at all. What is
anything
it called?
Gate is bad. Ocean Gate? Is that what you're talking about? When the submarine sank and stuff? And
no, but it's funny that they both had to deal with gates. And both.
Pizza Gate.
Yeah, but no. What is why am I... It's historical. It's a historical concert. Why am I not remembering?
Coachella?
No. Jimmy.
Travis World? Astro World.
No. Hendrix. No. Hendrix. National anthem. Woodstock.
Like the bird?
Like the bird.
I've never heard it.
Oh. What do you mean you never heard of it?
Never heard of Woodstock.
Woodstock's like the biggest like peace movement concert in 1960s. Every major band at the time performed there. It was like a huge protest against the Vietnam War.
That's news to me.
What do you did you not open a history book ever in your life?
The history books would talk about like the 1800s, not the 1960s.
Well, clearly you stopped paying attention at some point.
I could tell you about Paul Revere and George Washington and slavery, but I couldn't tell you about the. I think they skipped the from 1940s to present. I don't know much.
You missed that part. You missed it. But anyway, I just find it weird that the people who were at that concert who did a lot of crazy stuff are the same people who advocate against that kind of stuff that they fought for. Anyway, that's not the point. Fall Out Boy is the point. In Seattle, specifically. But more specifically, Fall Out Boy.
Back to Fall Out Boy in Seattle and Washington State. I was blown when Patrick Stump himself told me that he was from Walla Walla.
That's true. That was crazy. I had no idea.
I think I've been to a memorable amount of times. I've been to Walla Walla was probably once.
Yeah, that sounds
That was
right.
Joshua's fight.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was in Walla Walla.
That was in Walla Walla.
He had multiple fights.
Well, the first one I went to.
The first one was in Walla Walla?
That was in Walla Walla.
No, there you go.
That was the only time I remember going there. Maybe on the way to like Oregon or something.
All I knew about them was onions.
I know there's a restaurant there that Ulysses really likes.
I still only know about onions.
Well, I mean, there's onions everywhere.
Yeah, but
Borden smells like onions.
I think most of Central Washington just smells like onions. Specific times of year.
Rotten potatoes. Borden just smells bad.
Yeah.
But ever since the concert, I can't justify listening to anything else other than Fall Out Boy. Maybe it's just my mood.
It was too good. It was just honestly too good.
Black Hole Sun and what else did he cover?
They did Black Hole Sun and Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
I also Don't Stop Believing, but that's not that. And they did one more, I think.
I can't remember what the other one was. Honestly, at sometimes it just feels like a fever dream, some of the songs that they play.
It really does. I thought they would just play
their new album.
The new album, but they really touched in. I could see Infinity on High because I was listening to Infinity on High today mostly, and I was like, this is very popular. You got I think Dance Dance is from Under the Cork Tree.
It's like all bangers.
Thanks for the Memories. Mm-hmm. I think that's another song that took off Fall Out Boy. So that album itself was appreciated because of Thanks for the Memories. So that like really boosted their fame. But like Fully Ado,
who would have thought?
Did not expect Fully Ado, especially What a Catch Donnie. Mm-hmm. That song
literally rolled out a piano just to play that song.
What was another one? The one's like, and I saw God cry in the reflection of my enemies. He's like playing the piano. Yeah. He's like, I don't know how to play piano that well, guys, so bear with me. And he's like,
just going crazy on the piano.
If you could hear gold,
that's what it sounds like. Patrick Stump on the piano.
Patrick Stump in general. What a guy.
Yeah,
he wins.
Great voice.
What's his the drummers? I always forget the drummer. It's like James something.
Let me look it up.
It's like a white dude name. It's like Andrew or like Steve. It's not Steve.
Steve.
It's like it starts with a J.
Andy Hurley.
There we go. I knew it was like Andrew or something like that. Probably is Andrew.
Yeah, probably. That's most people named Andy. But yeah, they did really good.
I liked when Pete Wentz got eaten.
He
from
did.
This Sane is Seen, and he's just standing.
They brought a whole dog head onto the stage, and then it was singing the song, and then it's just started eating Pete Wentz.
Pete Wentz, what a guy!
He's just Mac from It's Always Sunny.
I thought that was what's his name?
Who?
Mitchell.
No, Mitchell's Charlie Day.
Wow. What a guy too.
Mitchell. But
there was a whole new appreciation for Pete Wentz there too, especially when he like went down under the stage and like appeared in the crowd, and then he just like
they literally did magic.
He's really
they did magic at the concert.
James Franco from Pineapple Express is really what he reminds me of with his long hair.
That too.
Looks like he's wearing a wig.
But like literally, I still don't know how they did that magic trick.
And well, I'm sure there's magicians out there that they're like, here's $100 and she's trying to do that. And I was impressed with the monologues that they have in the middle of their songs. That Pete Wentz was actually like just a racehorse on the track, send me back to the glue factory. And then what song? That's from Folie à Deux, right? Mm-hmm. And it sounded very familiar. Or I always like that part. It's after I'm very well rounded with Fall Out Boy because that's all I listened to in high school and middle school.
And now. In elementary school.
But between, I think it's the one with Brendan Urie, have you a $20 Nosebleed and West Coast Smoker. There's that monologue that's just Pete Wentz, and it's just like him talking, and then it turns into like West Coast Smoker, and it's like, wow, beat drop. So they brought that back into this new album. And I always made that connection. I was like, I wonder if those are connected. But in the concert, he connected the two, and I was like mind blown because like my conspiracy theory came from Pete Wentz himself, and I was just justified with life. It's like knowing God exists.
Yeah.
After Pete Wentz's words himself.
I guess in a sense.
I had a suspicion, but now I know.
But yeah, like they basically played all your favorite songs.
They played all my favorite songs. I don't even remember. I think no, they really did. Yeah. They hit every album, which I thought it was.
They actually did. That was the biggest surprise, I think. Like I thought for sure they were just gonna do the new album.
Well, it really caught me off guard because I don't like their like Uma Thurman. I like that song, but it's very mainstream. I think KTRM overplayed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe I shouldn't have.
Well, we can trash them all we want.
I don't know if I called them out like that.
We can call them out. They fired me.
What other one? Centuries is good. That's another one that was a little bit overplayed, but it's a banger. But I think they went from like Love from the Other Side to The Phoenix, which is very like second song on the album, and I was just like,
whoa. And then straight to songs from Under the Cork Tree. It was like, man, they're just hitting everybody. They knew their audience.
They knew their audience.
The OG Fall Out Boy fans, the newer Fall Out Boy fans, everybody there got something.
But I wonder if they really like. I mean, I'm not a traveler at all by any means, but if they really match the personalities from the cities that they like. Once you've been to Seattle enough times, and then you go to like LA, Chicago, Texas, that you're like, this crowd likes these songs, and they really match the personalities, or if they just stick with one playlist.
You know, that's a good question. I would have never even thought about that, but that might be something they would do, because like, I don't know, I guess like you said, different cities would have different vibes completely. So it's like,
they played Hum Hallelujah too.
They did.
I feel like a lot of these songs I didn't even know other people knew that they existed, because they're just so like fourth song on the album.
Yeah.
So
something that wasn't as mainstream as something like Dance Dance.
I'm glad they played the new Start the Fire. How they
did.
Yeah. Because they caught me off guard, and I was just like, oh, they're playing the song. Like, was it a mistake that we're at the concert, but they're playing on the speakers? And then they came out and was just like, ah! Did you expect that?
Yeah, I thought for sure they were going to perform that one live, but that was like their getting set up song, that as they're about to go on the stage, they started playing that, which I thought made a lot of sense, because since it was kind of just a remake of a song.
Yeah.
But then they just went all in with Love from the Other Side. Is like,
I knew they were going to open with that song. When I listened to the album, I would picture the concert, I knew they were going to open up with that song. I don't think they could.
They had to.
They had to. Exactly, they had to.
Their brand new album, just great song to start off anything to. Also, I let's start from the beginning. We have never been to a concert before.
I used to work at the Gorge.
I never even been near a concert.
Kind of gone in a suit, sober, like a nerd.
Okay, I've never been to a concert before.
I went to a Christian concert.
I literally had no idea what to expect because I was like, I don't know. I kind of just like, what's really going to be different from me just listening to it?
I think an indoor concert's different though, because I've been to the Gorge, and like when I was like 8, I saw like Mercy Me. But I remember I was asking someone, I was like, "What do we do?
What do we
just kind of sit and listen?" But I can't just sit and listen to Patrick Stump right in front of me. Like that's a little not appropriate.
But I think that's what changed for me though, because like thinking about it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna really have a good time because I don't really like crowds. I don't really like people. So I more put my entire bet on having fun at the Animal Crossing event at the aquarium, which I thought was very cool. I think that at the Seattle Aquarium, they had like a thing set up for Animal Crossing that like they have the Blathers from Animal Crossing giving facts about the fish like he does in the game. Just postcards. They had a little event that you could do bingo when you found the fish that were from Animal Crossing, which I think is very cool. And I think that's something that they should either keep at the aquarium from now on or implement in a different way because it makes going to the aquarium a lot more interactive and I think more fun. But I really did have a good time at the aquarium. So I was like, all right, I'm already good. So if the concert's not what I like, not too crazy, at least I still had fun on this trip. But then we get to the concert and like we start hearing the first few like bands, like it was Daisy Grenade, and that's the only one I really remember. The Main had those bands starting off, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, this is pretty cool. And then Jimmy Eat World comes out.
That was a game changer.
That really did change the game. They started playing like when they first started playing The Sweetness, I was like, oh shoot. This is real. This is real. Like the vibe in that building completely changed.
I had a moment with that bartender too. Cause, well, I guess like you said, fast forward to the beginning. Mm-hmm. That trip really taught me that there's no such thing as a good day or a bad day. There could be good moments, but like woke up, hurted my leggy. Mm-hmm. So that was bad, but I was like, no, I'm going to see Fall Out Boy live. So I went with it. And then we went to that restaurant, which was like a whole other life experience and the whole other day that was just like foreign. And Cassius was intimidated. I look over at him. He's just like,
I think he's intimidated by everything though. He's like a mouse.
Yeah, but it's like putting Cassius in like close to a Michelin star restaurant with like fancy people and like old ladies celebrating their 50th birthday decked out in diamonds, you know, like super fancy, which was nice. Like you pull up and they have, what are they called? Like the valets or the valets that they park the car for you.
Oh yeah.
And there's just like, we have our like little dinky tracks and everybody else is pulling up in like Porsches and Ferraris and stuff. And we're just like, well, you can drive my tracks, I guess. But
here you go.
I think that already, and it's in a big building. So this building is like an old seminary, which they turned into a hotel. So I'm going to go in there with, next time we go there, I'm bringing some like EVPs and stuff. Cause you know, there's
ghosts.
That's an old,
there's definitely ghosts.
Yeah. That place was huge and there's like a basement and stuff, but he's like, there's like Latin writing on the walls and it's like super nice and like upkept. And he's just like, this is where young men became priests. And now we're cooking here. And I was like, well, that's cool.
Cooking dinner.
But that was already an experience and was like life changing. And I was just like, wow, this was already like a day and I haven't even seen Fall Out Boy yet.
Yeah. I mean, even before going to the aquarium, since Mariah wasn't with us and she's allergic to shellfish, literally I was like, guys, we got to go to the crab pot and eat seafood because Mariah's not going to be here. So we just had our table filled with crab and shrimp and all that good stuff. Such a good lunch. Then going to the aquarium, having fun there. And then it was immediately, bam, concert. Bam, listening to those other bands and being like, that's pretty cool.
It was a bit overwhelming though. There was not much downtime in between.
I think I was perfectly whelmed. I was running on like 4 hours of sleep.
I think the parking did it though. I think it was like, well, I'm seeing Fall Out Boy, but my car may or not be there in the morning.
Yeah, that was a problem, but that's just the thing with big cities. There's never anywhere to park.
Well, that's why we moved. To be honest, we're like, let's live in Seattle, and lasted 3 months because couldn't find a parking spot.
Never mind. But yeah, so Jimmy Eat World starts playing The Sweetness, and it's like my mind was blown. I was singing along, and like that really got me in the groove of the concert. But then when Fall Out Boy came on and started playing Love from the Other Side, I was like, oh my gosh.
That was crazy. I think because they brought out fireworks.
There's fireworks, explosions, like people were going crazy in the crowd singing along.
Like 3 or 4 songs by Jimmy Eat World that I really like.
Yeah.
And Oblivious, I really got him prepared for So Much for Stardust. Mm-hmm. That was the album I played all the time to kind of prepare him for it and kind of be like, oh, I know the song. But clearly that was not the
that was not the case.
That was not the case.
Played
so he
like
kind of
every song.
That caught me off guard. But he is a huge Jimmy Eat World fan. When he lived in Mexico, didn't speak any English. He listened to Pain, and that's what got him. He said, apparently, allegedly, that's what got him into skateboarding was that song alone. And he's actually really good at skateboarding. Whatever he does with the thing, but he was really. I wish I would have gotten his reaction because he was like,
just excited.
Like he couldn't even get the words out. He was just like.
Because like,
I need to record this for my brother.
Because like, big shout out to Jimmy Eat World. They were good. Like, we didn't go there specifically for them.
Full exposure to Colby. Like, he said that when Jimmy Eat World starts playing, he was gonna walk out.
That is entirely true. Colby did say that.
He dissed them.
He dissed Jimmy Eat World.
I was like, I know like 3, 4 of their songs are good. I have Sweetness in the middle and Pain downloaded on my Spotify. But I don't really know any of their other songs. I wouldn't consider myself a fan. I like their music, though. Too. But I'm not going to diss them.
Like some people.
He enjoyed it, too.
But he did. I think he liked it almost more than us. Like, he was up there recording them and, like, singing along.
He said he hates them.
And he said he hated them.
He hated them.
Insane take. But they did very good. They were very good.
And I think I was expecting it to be a little bit more crowded, but that whole row behind us, which was in front of you guys, was empty.
Yeah, and then the one behind us too, completely empty.
But it was weird though. So I had the people on my right, and I told the guy, and I was like, "Hey, dude, if it comes to the point where I'm annoying, let me know, and I'll shut up. Just tell me to shut up." But he was cool. He reminded me of like my friend's boyfriend or whatever. So I was just like talking with everyone, and then there were some girls that were like in front of me that were kind of annoying, and they were like taking a selfie, and I like got in it, and I was like, hey, send that to me. And she kind of ignored me, which was heartbreaking. And then the people on my left, so Lisa's was on my left, and then the people next to him, there was like a couple, and they were kind of weird, and I really had to go to the bathroom because I was drinking a lot. So I got up to go to the bathroom like four times. That's not even an exaggeration. I really got up 4 times. And the girl was cool about it. She's like, oh, no worries, don't worry about it. But the guy was kind of annoyed. And then I was like, this is my last time, guys. I promise. I have like 2 beers in my hands. Like, I'm not getting up anymore, guys. I promise. This is it. And they kind of look at me like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
But I went up again like maybe 2 more times. And I don't know. It was weird because after Jimmy Eat World played, they left.
Yeah.
And then there was like some little girl that like was there. And she just like, she was having a good time, but her arms were kind of crossed. She looked anxious. I'm like, first of all, you're here by yourself.
That was a bad move.
2, you're not really having fun. And 3, this is obviously not your seat because somebody else was just here before you.
That's one thing for sure is don't go to a concert by yourself. You need to have some people with you to have fun. I think that's just with any event, really.
Depends on the person. I think I could go to a concert by myself and have a good time.
I don't think so. I need people that I actually like being around. They'll
probably be like, you're weird and I don't know you.
Yeah. But like, yeah, honestly, all the people I had to interact with there were pretty dang cool. Like the guy I was sitting next to, because we didn't want to go walk in front of all those people. And since there's a whole row behind us just empty, we just kind of leapt over the back of the seats. And I was like, hey, sorry, man. I'm just going to hop on over. And he's like, no worries, man. No worries. So I think I only had to hop over like twice, like the first time finding the seat. And then I went on an escapade to go look for merch, which I have one of them right here.
I don't even want to think about that.
But that's a whole other story, is that when me and Colby went to go find where to get merch, it was like, oh shoot, the only thing we saw was like the van outside getting merch. So we asked the lady up front who's running like security, we're like, hey, is there any way we could go out there and get merch? And she's like, no, once you come in or once you leave, there's no re-entry. And I was like, oh shoot. And she's like, oh no, but there's a bunch of other places in here. And then she gave us like directions of where all the merch shops were inside the building.
I did not know that.
And so we kind of went around and we found one, but the line was super long. And then the guy standing there was like, oh no, yeah, we've got like 3 other merch things downstairs that shouldn't be as busy, so you guys just head down there and you should be able to get it way faster. And so we go down there, and I guess he probably hadn't checked down there for a while, because if me and Colby felt like SpongeBob on the episode where he's in rock bottom, like literally we went to the very end of the line, and we were like, 329, I'm number 329, and no one can tell me otherwise. There were so many people in line. There were so many people. But the crazy thing is, that line went by so fast that like, I think we were in there for maybe like 5 minutes.
Oh, those people know the drill. They know the drill. I'm sure they know the totals off the top of their head.
So like we literally just went zip all the way through, got to the front of the line. I got a t-shirt which has the same sun and moon on it, and then it has all the like concert tour dates on the back. Very cool. I really like this hat.
Wow, rub it in, wouldn't you?
I am.
So my mom went to a Sam Smith concert one time, and I don't know if I was aware or what happened, but I had the dog with me, and they're like, well, we're going to go on this concert. You're on your own. And I just walked around Seattle aimlessly with the dog until they were done with the concert. And I knew they were about to end. I could hear Sam Smith from outside. I think at the time it was the Key Arena, and now it's the Climate Pledge. Or maybe it was still the Climate Pledge. I can't remember. But it was very weird. It was a very different dynamic. Like, at that concert, so in my head, I was thinking that there's like a bunch of people that just like showed up. I was like, what the heck is going on? They pulled out a bunch of t-shirts. So after the concert, they were selling t-shirts to people. People were just like gathering up. So I had that impression that there'd still be merch after the concert.
Yeah.
But that was not the case. There were just like $30 hot dogs on the street. But then after that concert too, they had like PETA people like holding up videos of like chickens getting slaughtered and stuff, which was weird.
Delicious.
But that was the impression, not expression that I was under, was that there would be time, or there would be people selling merch, or that van out front would still be open.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just do that. And that was not the case.
But yeah,
that was really sad.
All the other shops were open. They had a lot of stuff. So you
should have known.
You should have. You should have checked them out. I don't know if. Yeah, you will. You will have to make your own. But honestly, everybody there at the Fall Out Boy concert that I interacted with, they were all cool. I think everybody just kind of had that idea that everyone was like, we all like Fall Out Boy, and so we're all on the same side, so we're all just going to be cool with each other.
Except for one security lady kind of rubbed me the wrong way. There was one that was going through, and the other lady was nice. She's like, oh, it's protocol. Like, we got to check this. And they were like throwing a bunch of people's stuff away because it was like not clear, or it was like a Swiss Army knife that they can't bring in or whatever. And
yeah, that makes sense.
I think they were even more thorough about what people had because they knew. I'm sure they aware all the security, like, we're going to put Pete Wentz out in the crowd. So they have to be even more, like, if you have a pencil, you can't even bring it in. But she's kind of, that lady was cool. But when I was, like, going to scan my ticket, I was, like, taking too long. And she, like, took my phone out of my hand, scanned it. She's like, there you go. And I was like, well, I guess that helps.
That works.
That wasn't very friendly of you.
Poor Mariah. But yeah, I guess other than that, though, generally, I think everybody was pretty cool there.
Yeah.
But like, man, Fall Out Boy put on one heck of a performance.
I almost don't want to go to any other concert except for Fall Out Boy for the rest of my life.
Me too, but
Fall Out Boy plays,
we'll get to that in a
I'll
bit.
be there.
Yeah, they like Colby said afterwards, he's like, that's literally gonna be the best concert you've ever been to. Like, it was that good. Like, everything they did, phenomenal. Like, they worked the crowd so well. Like, even having like moments where they had the crowd like help out with like how the song went, or like just putting on the mood by having everybody flash their lights during So Much for Stardust.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, it was so cool.
It was pretty life-changing too, just like when they said what that album meant to them. And now every time, was it Iowa Heaven or something like that? I should have brought water. It's like a different, like, now you listen to that song, you're just like, wow, like everybody in this room, including myself, is gonna die one day. And Pete Wentz told me that. But it brings really a little bit of more truth to it.
Yeah.
Once he's like, what this album meant to us is that everybody in this room is gonna die one day, including myself. And I was like, yep, I guess it's true. But once you have that in your mind and then you really listen to like the lyrics of So Much for Stardust and that album alone, it's just like, wow, they really put some thought into this.
And was it that song too that like they brought up the story of that guy who's like saying that like Fall Out Boy saved their life?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy one too. It's like they like that's like one band that I know for sure now like really cares about their fans.
And they're from Walla Walla. Well, not but Patrick Stump's dad
from Washington.
Like, what?
Like that's so crazy.
Dudes. And another thing too, that I always kind of judge celebrities off of their appearance, and not in a bad way, but not in a good way
how
either.
They present themselves.
But like, you come with like the openers, right? And they're like clearly not Fall Out Boy. They're not nearly, and like Fall Out Boy, I think they are a lot bigger than I think they are. Because to me, they're like an alternative band that only like emo kids listen to. But really, you go to Walmart and they're playing.
That's what they were for the longest time.
Or you even KRM, like I said, they overplayed Uma. Like, they're actually pretty mainstream, and it's hard to accept that sometimes. But they're probably rich. I mean, they are. I mean, if you look at all those people, you look around, are like, wow, every person's probably spent $500 on this ticket.
Oh yeah,
but. Well, not 500, but anyways,
like 200.
You get like the main, who's the opener, and they're not nearly as big as Fall Out Boy, or like any person that's like trying to be big, and they're just dressed in like suits and nice, and they're like really trying to present themselves and give themselves like a nice, clean image, or like that they're like something different, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, these guys are all wearing white, like how crazy. And then Fall Out Boy comes out, and Patrick Stump's wearing like a hoodie with jeans.
And like, well, and same weird. With like Jimmy Eat World, they're all just wearing black t-shirts.
Yeah, they're just like they're just like
plain.
They don't
clothes.
even care.
Like they care more about the music than anything else.
Exactly. Like you go to like, I don't know. I've never really gone to like a mainstream concert, but if you look at clips from like a Beyonce concert, for example, and she's wearing like some crazy like silk mesh diamond infused, you know, and just like, did you really have to do that? And then you go to, and it's like mediocre. Or you know what? I hate to put him out there like this because I do like Bad Bunny's music. I do. But Ulysses and I have come to the conclusion that like music like that is not good live. Because he's like, what does he say? Like, like he's just like me gusta la dos. Like it's not even like
not
words.
Like putting even like effort into his voice to make it sound like a melody.
It sounds good on Spotify, but in real life, he probably doesn't sound that good. And he's just like decked out and whatever. I guess he's not really a good example either because he dresses like hoodie, sweatpants matching, but they're just like very like put on a like I guess it is still a show with Fall Out Boy, but it's less pizzazz and it's more thought. Instead of flashing diamonds, they're like, oh, let's have a bunny. and a spotlight, and he's eating a carrot, and then we're gonna open with Uma Thurman. It's just like,
yeah,
that's weird, but I'm digging it.
It was like cool, and it's just random stuff like that, like the bunny and the snail in like a desert while they're singing Uma Thurman, and then when they're doing This Ain't a Scene, and there's like the stupid dog head just singing along with the crowd.
The 8-ball.
The 8-ball. That was probably my favorite part from that whole concert. And the snail. As we know, like, we have an 8-ball. An 8-ball's like a signature thing for the podcast now. So it's them doing an 8-ball.
We need a tiny.
And then doing. They played. Why am I forgetting its name?
They were like, "Is this the last, or should we play more?
Is this our sophomore slump?" Like they asked that, and I immediately turned to Colby, and I was like, "Or the greatest comeback."
I did the same to Elise's, but he was probably like, "I have no idea."
He doesn't know. Colby knew. Colby, the whole time during the concert too, every song he's singing so loud that his voice was just cracking the whole time.
It's kind of embarrassing. I posted on Snapchat anyways. I was like, oh well, but like I'll listen back to the song, you can't even hear. You're just hearing me in the back like "Sending my love," and it's just my voice over like Patrick Stump's like this big and blurry, and it's just like, couldn't capture that.
See, I was singing along, but I sang along like, I guess at a like a sound low enough that you could only hear them playing, because I have them all recorded. I wish I could show them on the podcast, but I know the record companies would come after us if we played any of that. But I'm going to cherish those videos on my phone forever because it's so good. Like the whole crowd just, I think, really exploded when they were playing the Phoenix. Like,
because they had fireworks.
Like that was like, well, other than that, I think like the energy just completely changed.
I think every single one person in that building, unless they've been to the concert before, expected so much for Stardust, and only because that's pretty much what any other artist would do. Is just like, this is the album we're on tour for, and this is all you're gonna get. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a few old songs. Is what I was expecting. But for them to just like, what are the they played? Where's my?
Like, it was like the greatest tribute to like their fans, I'd say.
I think so too.
I know Jillian. So they played. It was "Love from the Other Side," "The Phoenix," "Sugar We're Going Down," Uma Thurman, "A Little Less," 16 Candles, "Dead on Arrival," Grand Theft Autumn, "Calm Before the Storm." That was a crazy one. I did not expect that one to play.
I did not either.
I was like, oh shoot. And then This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race.
Did she like capture them every single one, or like how did she find that?
I think she might have.
She is the type that she would document every single
I think
song.
she did. I think she created this herself, because there's Heaven, Iowa, Hallelujah, head first slide into
Mr. Sandman showing his beam. That I did not expect that one. I like that one. It's really weird, but something about, I don't know, the melody of it or something. I just like Fall Out Boy. That was another thing too. Before every song played, I knew like I could just hear the first like chord, and I'm like, oh, I like this song. I would turn to Elise's, and I was like, I like this song. I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I like all these songs.
I'm saying this after every song.
Exactly. I caught myself. I was like, I should stop because I know. See, so they Love from the Other Side. They did not. Did they play Heartbreak Feels So Good?
I don't think so. No.
They played Hold Me Like a Grudge.
Yeah.
They played Fake Out, right?
Yep. They played Fake Out.
They played. They did not play Flu Game?
They did not.
I was sad they didn't play the Kid Stoogie Kid.
That one's a good one, but my favorite one from that album they did not play is I keep forgetting their names as I'm talking about it. I'm forgetting the names.
I was really looking forward to Kid Stoogie Kid though.
It's What a Time to Be Alive. That's my favorite song from that album. They did not play it. That's like,
but that's okay. They made up for it.
But yeah, they literally played every other one of their most popular songs, which great. I was so happy. Like Dance Dance literally took me back to being just a little dink in the back of the car, listening to that on the radio on the way to whatever thing Colby had going on.
Yeah, I think that I hold a lot of these albums close to my heart too, because from the 8th grade to, well, like, I was always really into Fall Out Boy, but when we moved to Alaska, I was really into Fall Out Boy. So, like, Fully Ado, Infinity on High, From Under the Cork Tree, like, those are the ones that, like, I remember just being in a new school with new people in Alaska and just having Infinity on High on repeat and just being like, not talking to anyone and just like, I'm a stitch away from making it. And I'm like, oh, I really am. Yeah. I felt that. When Patrick Stump said, I'm a stitch away from making it and a scar away from falling apart, I felt that.
But like, I think that's what made this concert so special is like Fall Out Boy's been just such a huge part of our lives just in general. Like, I think there's like an album for every like major change.
Yeah, that's true.
In our lives.
Well, I mean, I think they caught me off guard too because they were really headed toward mainstream.
Yeah.
And I think from Big Hero 6 making it really popular, and they're on a Disney movie. I mean, Big Hero
Immortals,
6
great song popular.
Too. That is a outstanding song. But they were really headed like that. That's American Beauty, American Psycho. Before that was Save Rock and Roll, which is like the last old school Fall Out Boy, I think.
And I think those are like their two most mainstream albums too.
I think so too. I think once they got those two, then it was like very mainstream. And then they started making, was it Manic Mania or something like that?
Yeah, it was that.
I'm not a fan of that one. I will have to admit, I was very disappointed and I really felt like that's when they were really headed toward mainstream and they really were just trying to please. I don't think they were making music that they wanted to make, but they were making music that they thought people wanted. Yeah. Because at that time, it was very like Macklemore and...
Yeah, I don't remember really even hearing anything from Mania either until like recently.
No, I mean, there's a few like Champion I tried to get into and it just is like very repetitive and it's just like, there's no thought into it. It's very like robotic, if you will. Like there's just... Like I said, it's repetitive. What's the other one? I was just looking. Last of the Real Ones. That's one that's a lot more Fall Out Boy.
Well, that was still in mainstream. That was in Save Rock and Roll, wasn't it?
No.
Is it not?
No, it's in Manic Mania or something. What is it? I feel like.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
And then the other one was Young and Menace, and that one got very house music dubsteppy, I felt like, and that really took the beauty away from the alternative Fall Out Boy, and it kind of made me sad. So I thought that was Fall Out Boy's kind of downfall. I thought they were like, well, that's that era. And then they came out with So Much for Stardust, and I was like, wow.
Dang, this is good.
Brought back memories.
Because like what I think the craziest part about their new album was like I just started randomly listening to Fall Out Boy again in like September. I just had their whole like song catalog just on shuffle, and then just randomly I was like, huh. It was Love from the Other Side. And I was like, huh. Never heard this one before. I wonder when this one came out. It's really good. And then it's like 2 weeks later, you guys start setting them into the group chat, and I was like, huh. I wonder why they keep setting it this album into the group chat. Like, that's crazy because I just started hearing songs from it. I wonder what the coincidence is. It literally like just came out. I had no idea.
Well, like I said, I had really low hopes. I thought they had met their burnout stage, and I was like, when they released Mania. So I was like, that's sad. But I still loved Fall Out Boy. But I was so well-rounded in there. Like, I even knew their demos. Like, I always want to call it Provolone. The one that they made for the Folie à Deux. It's like, it's not provolone, but it sounds like provolone.
Provolone.
I'll never. It's like Provani or something. It's
Something
not. It's
like
not.
that.
It doesn't.
You're
say
more
that.
knowledgeable than I am.
But it's pretty good. Maybe you haven't heard it yet, but
I
it's
think
really
so.
good. And I even I knew all their demos, so I knew that wouldn't be a new song. And then I was listening to the other podcast, the one that you like,
That's Why We Drink.
And That's Why We Drink. And they were like saying funny things that are like, haha, Fall Out Boy lyric. And there's always been a joke between us. Like their song titles and their lyrics are just so out there sometimes.
Weird.
And they were kind of joking about it. And they were like, something about putting Fall Out Boy lyrics on a shirt, I think. And then Christine was like, or M was like, hold me like a grudge, haha. And I was like, that does sound like a Fall Out Boy lyric. How funny. And then she's like, part-time soulmate, full-time problem. I was like, that's so funny because that sounds like it could be a Fall Out Boy lyric. And then I was just there because they talked about Fall Out Boy because Christine went to their concert too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how nostalgic. I'm going to put on Fall Out Boy. And then it played and it said, I was like, I guess this is a new album. But I thought when I first saw that they had a new album, I thought it was going to be like Mania. I thought it was going to be very mainstream. I thought it was going to be not good, and I actually listened to it, and I was like, "Wow!"
Like it literally. I think that might be like their best album. Like it's so good. Every song on there is like banger after banger.
I just could not choose. Like Fully Ado is just, I don't know. I know Colby doesn't. I think he said something about Fully Ado just not being his favorite, but I do really like Fully Ado.
I think Under the Cork Tree will just forever be just so nostalgic for me.
I think they're just equally good. They just have some songs like...
It's just so weird thinking back to first listening to Fall Out Boy, like taking Colby to middle school and seeing his like weird middle school projects that he was working on. Is like just listening to Fall Out Boy on the way there. Or like Colby's football games, just thinking of we're going down in an earlier round.
My earliest memory of Fall Out Boy was MTV. And just seeing the deer guy on MTV and just like all sad. Just like, I feel for that guy. I don't know why he's sad, but
why is he
poor
sad?
Guy.
And then every single prep rally at Frontier, our middle school, just always playing Light 'em up, up, up.
Oh, yeah. That was another song that went very mainstream.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that was Fall Out Boy for a while. With the album Save Rock and Roll, have you ever seen the music videos?
No.
So the music videos from, what's the first song on there? I think it's Phoenix. Mm-hmm. From that one to Save Rock and Roll, every single music video is like not trilogy, that wouldn't make sense. It turns into a movie, pretty much. So they're all connected. And if you watch the music video from beginning to end, it's a whole movie about like Fall Out Boy. Well, it's not about Fall Out Boy. They're like doing drugs and stuff. But it's pretty interesting. It has a whole different vibe from it. I think it's like save rock and roll. Oh, so that's the point of it. They're saving rock and roll in the music video, and it's like Patrick Stump's like getting kidnapped, and they all get kidnapped, and they're like running from it. And they all end up in like hell or something, and then Elton John is actually God, and it's just like a trip. But it's
what
interesting.
The heck? But
I watched it many times.
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to get back into watching music videos because Colby and Jill just showed me one of their new music videos for What a Time to Be Alive. And I don't know how the coincidence of this is, but Colby's favorite current basketball player for the Miami Heat is in that music video.
That's funny.
It's like, what are the odds of that?
There was one of the new songs. I was just doing homework and I turned on Fall Out Boy and the music video was so weird. So weird. It was like a dude that looked like Cat Williams almost. And he was just like it's Patrick Stump's voice, but he's just like going about his day and he's just like singing it like very like unexpressionally, and it's just like I forget which one it is, but it's just like why?
What is this?
Why?
What is going on?
It's one of it's not Love from the Other Side.
Let's see. I bet I can find it first. I'll let you look for it.
I think it's
Heartbreak
Feels So Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Their new album's so good. Just I don't even know how to describe it. I listened to that album so much that when the Spotify Wrapped came around, that like literally within 3 months they became my #1 band. Like the top 0.5%, which I think is a lie now because somehow everybody's in the 0.5%. But that doesn't matter because I felt like a true fan. And then I watched them live in concert and got their merch. So I think that makes me a true fan.
I've just always been very into Fall Out Boy.
Just good. They're all around just a good band, cool guys.
Very
like
humble.
Very extremely humble. Like you can tell the way they just talk to the fans, just everything they do. Like I said, they truly care about their craft and what they do, which I don't think a lot of people in the industry do anymore.
Wait, I really need to watch this now because this Fall Out Boy decided to film a prank for their new music video. It did not go as planned. That's for Heartbreak Feels So Good. So I'm kind of curious because I didn't see that one yet.
Oh, we'll have to watch that later.
We'll have to watch that later.
But yeah,
child.
Overall, definitely, I don't think any concert's going to beat it. But I will say, now after seeing that concert, I want to see more concerts.
I just want to see more Fall Out Boy concerts.
True.
You can miss me on any other.
Very true. But like, it's made me like completely change my mind on how I view concerts. Because going into that, I was like, I don't think I'll ever really enjoy a concert. Like, it's just listening to music. How crazy can it get? But just the feel of everybody in the room just being so excited for the same thing. Just everybody there for the same thing. Everyone just pumped up, happy. Just like, and singing along to the songs that you know the lyrics to with like a group of so many other people is just, it completely changed how I view that.
Yeah.
So like, I literally just last week already bought tickets to Blink-182, who are a lot closer than Seattle, going to be in George.
Yeah, but the Gorge is like, it's a different.
It'll be a different vibe for sure.
Seen
I'm gonna see how that goes because I'm not a fan of the heat, and that's in the dead center of summer.
Yeah, but it gets cold that night there. It's not too bad actually.
I guess, but yeah, I'm also a fan of Blink-182. Not as high up there as Fall Out Boy, but I have always enjoyed their music as well.
The problem with the Gorge is it's dangerous because their water's $10 a bottle. And you're out in 100-degree weather, and you're partying, pretty much. And a lot of people have
they pass out.
Been sent to the hospital.
Isaac has said that at concerts he's been to that people constantly pass out from heat stroke.
And it's different because it's like I think it's for the scenery, and the Gorge obviously amplifies. So it's like lawn. It's like someone's front yard, but in the back is like a cliff with the Columbia River behind it. And it's really the image. It's a stunning place to be. And I've seen Cage the Elephant with Beck, Skrillex when I was working there. There's a few more that was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Who else was there? Grateful Dead I've seen many times when I was working there. And the ravers too. Those ones are weird though.
The ravers. But
the Gorge gets interesting, and I don't know. It definitely was not nearly as cool as Fall Out Boy, so I have really low expectations for Blink-182.
Like I said, I'm gonna see, but like I already know Fall Out Boy. That's like a life-changing experience. Like that was so good.
And another appreciation with Fall Out Boy is they stuck through it for 20 years. They've had the same members.
It's true.
I mean, Blink-182. They got a new lead singer, which kind of is another reason why I'm kind of hesitant on getting tickets. But they really stuck it out.
Yeah.
I think even Panic at the Disco kind of lost a few along the way.
Which it's common for bands to do that, but
Taking Back Sunday.
It's crazy that Fall Out Boy really has stuck together
for 20 years.
This whole time.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah. It really is.
Pete Wentz and Patrick they really are like Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Well, not anymore.
I don't get it.
Seth Rogen and James Franco aren't friends anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because James Franco's not a good person.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Well, that's sad.
It is sad.
I didn't want to know that. I would have been blissfully unaware.
Well, I'm sorry I had to break it to you.
I don't want to get that shirt anymore.
But no, Fall Out Boy, very good. Very happy that I went.
Yeah, I remember just thinking, especially after I hurted my leg, I was like, I could get in a car accident today, and there's nothing that's going to stop me from seeing Fall Out Boy. I could die on my way.
I'm honestly surprised you did not cry at the concert.
I teared up a bit.
You teared up?
I definitely did, but...
I think Colby was close.
Yeah, it was
Like
really...
I said.
I thought I was going to cry, but... I don't know. The main was good. Daisy Grenade was a little weird. It reminded me of Allie. I was like...
It's just Allie.
I had to message her
band.
in the middle of the concert. I was like, do you listen to Daisy Grenade? Because they remind me of you.
I thought they were good. I thought everybody who performed there was good. I thought everybody did a good job.
I wouldn't download them on my Spotify.
Oh, no. But still.
It wasn't horrible. The main was good.
Yeah.
Maybe I would listen to them on Spotify.
But overall, great experience. Would do again. Exactly the same concert.
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10. Couldn't be better.
Expectations were exceeded.
Yeah, they were. Mine definitely were. Like, overall, like, just good vibes. I had all good vibes leaving that. Definitely did feel like I left, like, a war zone, though. Like, I couldn't hear anything. My voice was shot.
Yeah. I'd give my right big toe to see Patrick Stump and Pete Wentz be in the same room as them again.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
Anyway, I think that just about wraps up all of that.
Well, let's hear it for American Sweethearts.
There we go. Well, thank you all for watching this week's episode.
The 101th?
The 101th episode. We didn't even... 101st?
The 101st
episode. We didn't even mention that fact, but that's why we have a dolphin. No, I know, I'm hungry. It's a Dalmatian. 101.
There's only one of them, though, but he represents 101.
He has all 100 souls of the other Dalmatians within his heart.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was more thinking he's like the representation of the idea of 101, but
no.
Okay, that works too.
Whatever. Anyway, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast.
I love Fall Out Boy. Keep them alive.
Listen to Fall Out Boy. Even if you're not a fan, maybe try him out again.
Eat fish.
Ooh, fish.
Drink water.
That too. That's a good
Don't
point.
do meth.
That's an even better point. All right. Anyway, see you guys next week. Peace out.